So good morning. Today's the update from the regular meeting of council that we had on Monday, November 10th. First thing we did, of course, adoption of the agenda. And the first thing that came to us was a delegation from the Calgary Stampede Artists in Action, Sherry Zickfoos, and another lady, Shauna. I can't remember her last name. Sorry, Shauna. They came and presented us with a piece of artwork that was done during the Calgary Stampede that a number of Alberta and surrounding area artists did, little foot by 1 foot squares and did their own little interpretation of their style of art on this thing. It's about, I think it's on a 4x8 frame. It's huge. So they just came to present that to us. Somebody bought it in a silent auction and actually donated it back to the town of High River, which is very cool. And we're going to find somewhere that can be displayed so that everybody can see it. We've actually got a couple of big pieces of art. We almost have to build an art gallery now to house some of this stuff. It's so big. But that was very cool that they, from whoever, it was an anonymous donator that gave us that painting. And it's really an amazing thing to see. So once we get it hung up, I'll tell everybody where it is so that everybody in High River can enjoy it. The next thing we did was just the adoption of the minutes, and this was just from the organizational meeting from last week or 2 weeks ago. Then the big one that we dealt with was the Wallaceville Memorandum of Understanding with the Government of Alberta. So just so that everybody knows how this the cleanup of Wallaceville is going to go. So the property acquisition, all the buyout processes should be completed by December 31st, 2014, the end of this year. The hazard assessments should be done by the end of November this month. And then the expedited demolition of there's 4 homes that are visible from Center Street that we want to get cleaned up, that are probably the worst ones along there. And we want to expedite those to get them done ASAP. So that's going to start in January 2015. So first thing in the new year, those 4 properties will be demolished and gone. Then the hazard abatement will take place starting in May. So that's any of the remaining homes that have asbestos or other hazardous materials in them. That'll be just starting in May. And then the remaining demolitions for the rest of that neighborhood will begin in July 2015 and completed by December 2015. The site contours and the development and how that area is actually going to look will take place in 2016, 2017. So yes, it's taking a long time. We'd rather have it done by now, but we're back into the normal procedure of how these government contracts work and how they have to work fairly for everybody. Everybody knows how much bad publicity the government got with the whole Tervita sole-sourced contract. That's why they can't do that again. So we are into a tendering process that can take months to make sure that everything is on the up and up, and the tender is complete and fair for everybody to bid on that and then go through the bidding process. It takes forever. This is why we have states of emergency in Canada. Because with states of emergency, you can act and get things done fast without going through some tendering process that takes months and months. I can't imagine if we actually went through that during the flood, so thank God we didn't. That's why those rules exist. So moving forward, property tax forgiveness. We started the first batch of the 2014 property taxes to the amount of $63,495.36. And then we forgave the last amount of the 2013 property tax forgiveness to the amount of $3,037.07. So the 2013 one is all done, and we've started on the 2014 forgiveness. Next one we did was the Downtown Revitalization Phase 2. This is what you're going to see, and basically what we did is just allowed these guys to say, yeah, here we go. On Phase 2, and that includes 5th Avenue Southwest from McLeod Trail to Firth Street, and then from Firth Street to, and then on Firth Street from 4th Avenue to 6th Avenue will be completed next year. And then the expanded parking lot at the museum. So the parking strategy that we have coming into play, we are not just getting rid of parking downtown. We are moving parking, the majority of the parking, to the perimeter around downtown and making downtown a special place. So it is not getting rid of parking, it's moving it. So next year we start on the expanded parking lots, and this one will be north of the museum. It is contingent on the land acquisition that we're working through with CP Rail right now, so we'll move forward on that. The other piece that we expanded on with the downtown area redevelopment scope is we have two plans. One is the George Lane Park plan, and then one is the downtown plan. And there's a border line that defines the two. That's fine, but we need a document that interlinks those two areas with downtown and the park. Right now, it just sort of stops and doesn't have any real defined connectivity through there. So that's what this scope of work. So we just authorized administration to work with O2 Planning and Design that's doing everything else and come up with a concept as to how the integration of the two areas will be moved in place. That was a budget amount that we'll put in for 2015 to the tune of $45,000 to do that. So it's just something that is extremely important while we do this, that we have the whole plan together before we get ourselves into trouble and miss something. So that's okay, a couple other things that I'll speak on. Number one, you'll notice the little purple ribbon that I'm wearing. This is a initiative that the Rowan House Emergency Shelter that Michelle and Sherry are putting together. November is Family Violence Prevention Month. And you'll notice around town that there's purple ribbons on a lot of the businesses and on trees and light standards and everything. That's what it's about, and they're just bringing awareness to Family Violence Prevention Month. If you want to get involved with what they're doing in November with this, please just contact the Rowan House. I shared a link to this stuff on my Facebook page this morning, so you can have a look at that, and if you want to get involved, they could sure use your help, I'm sure, and go from there. The other big thing that council is working on right now is a financial plan for High River with the new environment after the flood that we're dealing with, and the opportunity that we have to really set this town up for the next 20, 30, 50 years. And we need a significantly diverse and strong financial plan for this. So our CFO, High River, you are beyond lucky to have Mr. Tom Meyer in this role and in this town, because he cares deeply about the plan for High River. He knows exactly where we should be headed. We've had two sessions with council and administration and putting all of this stuff together and getting everybody's ideas as to where we see High River going and what needs to be done, so that we don't get into a roller coaster ride that a lot of municipalities do with not taking care of infrastructure, and then all of a sudden you got a huge spike where you have to do a number of things. And High River's no different than anywhere else. We've seen this happen in the past, but instead of riding this big wave constantly, we want to try to level that thing out a little bit. And the first part of having that is a solid financial plan. One of the big things that we talked about yesterday was asset management and how we use that to our advantage. And assets are anything from roads, your water treatment plant, your sewer systems, bridges, sidewalks, equipment, everything that the town of High River has as an asset. And the guys spoke a lot about how it's usually done with municipalities is on a worst first basis. So you repair the worst roads first and get them fixed up, and then you go to the next one, and you're always kind of chasing your tail with that. Where this is using asset management system level that out a little bit, and you can foresee where things need to be. Take a road, for example, where if the pavement is, you know, at the end of its life, strip the pavement off, repave it before it fails to the point where you have to tear the whole thing up and repair the underground base to that thing. So that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. It's a massive, massive task to take on, and but it's something that's extremely important to Tom that we get on, and we need to be on this. And it's a way that municipalities are handling this for the future. The advantage that we have now that we didn't have in the past was the software and the technology that can help you work through this asset management stuff. But just wanted you to know that the financial plan is not just a next year budget. It's a massive 20-year plan that we're putting together, so that you know, you can never foresee what the next council has to deal with or what they want to do. But if you don't have a plan, you're going to have this huge wave. So we want to try to put something in place that can guide everybody, and so that we're all on the same page going forward into the future. Downtown, yeah, the parking's brutal right now. Sorry. We've removed parking off a 3rd, and 4th isn't done yet. We're into weather now, and we knew we would be, but looks like we're going to get some better weather. There's other construction going around on some of the other back lanes and streets, and so parking is a problem right now with the amount that's going on downtown. It's something that we just have to work through. We will get through it. High River will be a much better place because of it. But is it frustrating? Is construction frustrating? Is change frustrating? Absolutely it is, and that's just the way it is. But we're a tough town. We can get this done, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, there's 3 or 4 more phases that are going on downtown, so don't think that just this year and everything's going to be all great for next and the future. We got a long ways to go on this, and we're not stopping until it's done properly. So get a hold of us on Facebook. You can follow. There's a lot of discussion on downtown that's happening on Facebook right now, so join up, get in the discussion. There's an open house tonight on Phase 2. All the planning people will be there for you to talk to. Councillors will be there. It's important that you come to these events so that you can provide us feedback as to whether you really like it or whether you absolutely hate it and you think we're right off our rocker for doing what we're doing. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the feedback, and we have to have this conversation. You deserve the right to let us know, and we're open for it. So come on down, enjoy it, see what's going on.